Welcome back to my channel. Today I figured I would share with you guys some of my favorite young adult fallish book type recommendations. There's really no order at all to this list. It's just some of my favorite young adult books that just feel like a fall kind of vibe. And don't worry, if young adult is not your thing, I will have a video that is just adult fall book recommendations. It's coming out probably next Saturday, but today I'm just going to focus on the young adult because I have a lot of book recommendations and I didn't want to make this video too long. So today I'm going to focus on the young adult, and like I said, there's no real order. I recommend all of these just wholeheartedly, so if any of them sound interesting, definitely pick them up. Okay, so I'm going to start off with House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This is like a gothic, spooky, atmospheric retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, where this family started off with 12 daughters and they have like started to die mysteriously, and so they're left with 8 of the sisters, and so it's basically following one of them as the main character. Basically, she's unraveling this mystery, and definitely read this if you like fantasy type murder mysteries and ghost stories, because this has all of that in droves and it's amazing. This is a book that I stayed up till almost midnight reading because I had to know how it ends. And also, it does not end on a cliffhanger, but it does have a sequel that is about one of the other sisters, which was also really good, but this one definitely has all the fall vibes and I love it. So definitely pick this one up if you like fantasy murder mystery kind of things or fantasy retellings, because this is perfect for that. So the second book I have is Romanov by Nadine Brandes. This is basically, it's almost like asking, what if Anastasia Romanov survived because of magic? And I love it because I love all things Romanov basically. And so this book, it's magical almost, but like in a dark kind of way. And it also has an amazing romance. So definitely pick this one up. And a bonus, the cover is absolutely gorgeous. But I definitely recommend you pick this one up, especially if you like speculative historical fiction, because that's definitely what this kind of is, but with a fantasy twist. I love it. So next, I know basically everyone has heard about this book, and most of those people who've heard about it have read it, but I will never shut up about it. It's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I'm sure you all know what it's about. It's about this girl, Pip, who is solving this case that everyone thinks they know who did it, but she is not convinced, and so for a high school project, her senior project, she is solving this mystery, this murder mystery, and I love it. Pip and Ravi, I love them so incredibly much. And also, if you can, get the UK edition because it's just so much better. I don't know how to explain it, but it is. I know you've all probably heard about this book, but please, if you haven't read it, take this as your sign to go read this. Read the whole series for that matter, because it just gets so much better with each book. But this is amazing, and it definitely has, all the fall mystery type vibes. Okay, so the next one I have is Anatomy of Love Story by Dana Schwartz. So this one is set in Edinburgh in the 19th century, and it's about this girl who wants to be a physician, but obviously because she's a woman, that is frowned upon. So it's basically her trying to become a doctor, and she gets involved with this basically a grave robber named Jack. And it's basically them solving this mystery that's going on, and it's just so fall. The love story is amazing, but there are elements kind of magic. So it's got history, it's got magic, it's got mystery, it's got everything you could really want. And the cover, whoever designed this cover, thank you, because I love it. And the sequel is also equally as amazing. So definitely pick this one up. Honestly, I would recommend this one almost for November. I don't know why, but it has a November vibe to it. So definitely if you like historical fiction with a twist, pick up this book, please. Okay, so next, this is another really popular one. It's What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that name. I always feel like I butcher names. So it's basically about our main character, I think it's pronounced Inez. It might be, I think it's Inez. Going to Egypt in I think this one is also 19th century, and like getting embroiled in like this bigger plot and mystery that's going on along with this magic, and it's very interesting and it's so well written, and I absolutely love the characters and the cliffhanger. Just be glad that the sequel is coming out, I think, in October. So this is definitely the perfect time to pick up this book right before the sequel comes out, and I just love it. I have fallen in love with Wit, and honestly, just please pick it up because everything about this book is amazing, and then by the end with that cliffhanger, you will be questioning everything you thought you knew. So this is just amazing. The setting is so just perfect. Like, I feel like I have not read a lot of books that are set like in Egypt, but that's such like an interesting, perfect setting that I loved it. The magic was so interesting. The mystery was amazing. So definitely pick up this book if any of that sounds interesting to you. So next, I have The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I know like The Inheritance Games is by far her more popular series, but I would almost dare to say that I like this series more. Basically, these teenagers who start working for the FBI to catch serial killers, and it's just so interesting, and the backstory and the way you learn about these characters through this series. Jennifer Lynn Barnes is an absolute master of plotting and twists, so please pick this up. Like, if you like crime kind of procedural books, this is amazing. Like, I know it might be off-putting that it's about teenagers, but believe me, it's amazing. I loved it. This is another one I stayed up way too late reading, and during this book, my jaw was on the floor multiple times. I cannot recommend this enough, honestly. So the next book I have is definitely a new favorite of this year. It's The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore Goss. This is such an interesting book, and I loved every moment of reading this. It's basically like the daughters of like these well-known literary characters like getting embroiled in this mystery in, oh geez, it's like, this is another one. The theme, I guess, for fall for me is 19th century. This is another like 19th century book that's set in England, and oh my gosh, the mystery of this, the way it all comes together, it's so amazing. You will fall in love with these characters, and we get a Sherlock and Watson. They're not a cameo because they're like a big part of this book, which I personally love because I love Sherlock Holmes and anything to do with Sherlock Holmes. So basically, like, if you like mysteries and like if you're big on classic literature, definitely pick this up. It's actually a trilogy. I have only read the first 2 books. I definitely want to reread the 3rd book probably this fall. But so far, this series is basically 10 stars. I love it so incredibly much, and this book I cannot recommend enough. It's amazing. Please pick this one up. Let's see. So next I have Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. Basically, just put any of Ruta Sepetys' books on this list. This is the one I chose specifically because this was the first one I read by her, and it made me fall in love with her books. All of hers are like historical fiction. They are so well written. This one is specifically, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation. It's about like, it's set in 1945, so it's like refugees from the war, and they end up like, it's basically their journey to get to the ship, which is the Wilhelm Gustloff. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then the tragedy that follows that. And oh my gosh, it's got like a few different POVs, but that does not like affect the reading. Like, it feels like it would be a lot because there's like 4 POVs, and that feels like it would be a lot, but really it's like it flows so well together, and the chapters are short, which if you're like me is always a bonus. So this one is just straight historical fiction, and it's so well written, and it will probably make you cry. All of Ruta Sepetys' books are like that, so really just any of hers pick up, but this one has like a specific fall feeling for me. So I love her books. Please pick them up. Okay, so next is Lovely War by Julie Berry. This one, if you can't tell by how like bent the pages are, you probably can't see, but the pages are all so bent because I have read this book so many times and I love it. So it's basically the Greek goddess Aphrodite during World War II, telling the story of these two couples during World War I. And oh my gosh, you will fall in love with all four of the main characters. It will tug at your heartstrings. It will make you laugh. It will make you cry. Honestly, if you're interested in any like Greek mythology or historical fiction or just romance, like if you love romance, pick up this book. I cannot recommend it enough. It's amazing. I will rave about this book forever. Like, please, if you are interested, just historical fiction, romance, Greek mythology, this is the book for you. It's so amazing. It's so well written, and I love it so much. All right, so I've got two more books. So first, this is the book that got me into fantasy, really, and it's Caraval by Stephanie Garber. And honestly, I feel like since I read this, I have just been trying to replicate the feeling of completely binging like most of this book in an afternoon and being completely sucked into this world, this magical carnival, following the main characters, learning about the romance, trying to figure out what's true, what's a lie, what's real, what's not. It's beautiful. The writing is amazing. And there's some things that people have complaints about, but if you can see this series to the end, you will have answers, and it's amazing. And honestly, if you are new to fantasy, this is my #1 recommendation because it's an easy world to understand. It's not like this big world building world. It's just, you are thrown into this world and you have no idea what is real, if anything at all is real, and it's amazing. Pick this one up. Even if you are like an avid fantasy reader, just try it, please. Just try any of Stephanie Garber's books because they are all so wonderful. Okay, so the last book is Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and this is a Queen of Hearts like origin story. It's not a retelling, it's more of an origin story, and I personally love villain origin stories, even though every time they will probably rip my heart to shreds. And I don't want to spoil anything, but this book it is so emotional and so just amazing, and oh my gosh, Marissa Meyer will make you fall in love basically with a villain, and it's amazing. Listen, Marissa Meyer is essentially the queen of fantasy retellings, so please, this I think was the first one I read by her. It's amazing. If you like love fantasy but you want to stand alone, read this one because it's fairy tale, it's nonsensical, it's magical, and I love it. Basically, the main character is named Kath, and she just wants to open a bakery, but she's like supposed to marry the King of Hearts, and then things transpire from there, and it's amazing. Honestly, you will probably be in tears by the end. So that is just, I don't know which of these books I would recommend the most because I recommend all of them so incredibly much. If any of them sounded interesting from my disjointed summaries of them, definitely pick them up. They all have incredible fall vibes, and I recommend them all so much. I definitely am probably going to reread a few of these this fall and winter because I just love them, and they're all basically magical in their own way, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope you got a few books for your TBR. Leave some fall recommendations for me because I love any book that feels like fall. And then like I said, if young adult isn't your thing, which I totally get, I will be posting a adult fall book recommendations. So that will be coming probably next week. But yeah, definitely leave any recommendations you have, and like I said, I hope you got some recommendations from this. So thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.